Have you ever thought about moving abroad? Because today is my 18th England anniversary. Translation? I've been living in England for 18 years as of today. I moved to England September 3rd, 2007, and it was only supposed to be temporary. I mean, like 8 months. My dad got a temporary position in Cambridge, England, and then we were supposed to go back to my hometown in Columbus, Ohio. But that did not happen. So if you're thinking about moving abroad, I've got some tips and I've got some thoughts, having been abroad for, almost 2 decades. Right. First things first, it depends how old you are. If you're still in school, as I was still in school, depending on where you're coming from, the school systems are going to be completely different. But let me assume that you're an adult, and I've got some tips if you are moving abroad as an adult. So, depending on where you're coming from and where you're going, it's going to be completely different. But let's assume you are coming from the United States and you're moving to England because that's the example that I have. So, a couple things: banking, phone, living. So, rent. How does that work? So, if you have a US bank account, cool. They don't normally do international transactions. It's super annoying. So, a good one that you can use is Wise. It used to be called TransferWise. It's pretty solid. That's what I would recommend. As for phone, I'd say get a British phone. You can get one with a SIM card so that you just top it up, or you can just get a plan depending on how long you're going to be here. There are different companies, different plans, so pick one that you like. And then for rent, you're probably going to need a UK guarantor unless you have a solid job here that you can prove stable income. And you usually need at least like 3 times the rent annually for your salary, which is super annoying, but it makes sense. So bear that in mind. If you don't have a UK guarantor, then it might be a little bit hard to rent. So you can look at student-based accommodations. Sometimes those can be a little bit better for international people, but that would be my place to start out, is like thinking about those core things. Also, and this is key, and it took me way too long to figure this out, if you are a US expat, you are liable to US tax laws. You don't necessarily have to pay US taxes if you're paying UK taxes, for example, but you still have to file US taxes. So please bear that in mind. Also, sometimes I get asked if I ever plan on moving back to the US. Well, I actually have multiple citizenships now, so I don't have to. It's always there as an option, but I'm in London right now. Like I said, I've been in England for 18 years. I did all of my university degrees here. I work in the film industry here. I started my business here. I do a lot of my work in London and other areas of the United Kingdom, so I don't see that happening. But depending on where the wind blows you, maybe you'll end up in a different country. Anyways, if you have any questions about moving abroad, just let me know.